Okay, I'm Ken with Castle Heating and Air. We did the HVAC project to work over here. Brief overview of the system. You have rooftop units, there's 8 of them. One serves the library just itself, 7 of them serve the school area. Cooling only, rooftop units. Your main heat for during the winter time, your 2 boilers here, your heating pumps here, and then you have numerous VAVs throughout the building, actually, with hot water coils in them. You have unit heaters, hot water unit heaters, hot water cabinet heaters in the entryways. Rooftop units do have filters, which you will need maintenance on, which we will provide you with a list of filters. The filter change, we have done one maybe 2 weeks ago, a final filter change on every rooftop unit. So you're probably good for another 3-4 months, basically. Basically, this is the crux of everything where all your heating starts. Supply and return mains going throughout the building. And that's pretty much it, an overview, really. I think you guys are familiar with the rooftop and VAV system.
The fans on the rooftops, they're running now, pushing air through the system.
Yes, they are.
The hot water, when it's going through the
hot
pipes,
air
the boxes,
yes,
that's
correct.
what's getting us our air.
Correct.
So the rooftops are running all the time, or are they on a timer that they shut off at a certain time?
No, they'll be running all the time. They will be once we determine the schedule. Right now they're running 24/7, but once we determine an occupancy schedule, I would imagine
they'll shut off, and then you can set them for
yes.
this section on Friday nights, or somebody
yes,
can
correct.
or Saturday or something.
Correct. I think that's what we're going to set it up once we get an occupancy schedule. How you guys want to do it?
Any indicators here? Let us know if one of the fans are out or if something's out. Are we able to check them down here? We have to go upstairs physically and look.
A lot of that's going to happen when we get to that integration piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hold those questions. So they're good questions. But
Yeah, no, definitely, most definitely. So, like I said, this is.
Let me just add one thing real quick. We have opted for the 24-hour mode right now because of the cold temperatures and everything being frigid. We didn't want any issues with anything, so we just said let's keep it on 24 till the weather gets a little bit more moderate. Then we can back it back until however you want to run it, each day. But right now it's 24/7 to make sure we stay warm.
Are you guys involved with the domestic water too?
No, we're not. No,
Domestic water is a different contract.
Yeah, definitely. We just did the heating and air conditioning part of it. Then, like you said, in the summertime, I think the boilers will shut down, and then your rooftop units will be providing your AC for the school, actually. So
Now these are on a program, so when it gets like the Siemens program, in April, if the temperature was 55 degrees, the boilers would shut off. So are these on the same sort of a program where if it's in April and the temperature outside is 55 degrees, the heat will kick off?
yeah, I think these are on outdoor reset, these boilers.
Yeah. Everything's on adjustable set points. Like all the unit heaters, cabinet unit heaters are only enabled under 55 degrees, so those will all shut off too.
I mean, that's pretty much a brief overview of your system here. The standard VAV box, rooftop unit, and boiler system. Nothing spectacular until you get to the control side of it.
Totally separate than ours, right? Or is this water controlling?
It's controlling the library also too. Yeah.
So our heating system is controlling the library.
Correct. But they have their own rooftop unit for the library.
If you ever hear anybody refer to a Jace, this is what they're talking about.
Okay.
This provides communication to all the control equipment that's out in the building. It's accessible over the network in the building and externally. So if you guys have a VPN or anything like that, you can get to it through there.
There is a discharge air set point on those RTUs, which I believe is 55.
Is some of the air in the room recycled, or is it all just forced air and it just goes out under the door?
There's returns.
Yeah.
And the returns go back through the ductwork and just keep going through the
I think it's an open return quantum ceiling there is what it is.
and it returns back to the rooftop unit and goes through the system again, or is it just returned back into a ductwork site?
No, returns back to the unit, actually.
Okay, so there are CO2 sensors in the thermostats.
In a lot of them, not all of them, but especially in the classrooms, I think all the classrooms have CO2 sensors.
Okay, are those are in the thermostat?
Yeah, you won't be able to see it. It'll just look like a regular thermostat, but it's also measuring.
but it's already in there.
Yeah.
And then if the CO2 gets too high, will it beep or make noise, or will it show on the system, or?
I think that's available for us to grab out of the box controller to include on the graphic. Yeah, there is. I know at least through the control, you can see the differential pressure of the system.
Okay. I think that's set up for the with the
Yeah, and then
engineer
it's also
on it
got,
anyway.
you have your set point there, which it was at 22, and then here's your hot water reset to let you know you should have 151 degree water. If you
That's
come
what the
back
water
over
running through
here,
the system is now is 151. on
no,
the
that's
system.
the set point that it wants to have. If you come back onto the main page,
Mind if I get in there?
yeah, your actual supply temp right now is only 131.
Turn down here.
Here's your return.
Okay. Arrows going out, arrows coming in. What's hot water DP?
That's your system differential pressure. And we can modify these to make the labels better for you guys.
So the pressure, like at the end of the line somewhere, is 2.7 pounds.
Yep, yeah, wherever that sensor is, it's at 2.75 right now, and it wants the set point's at 22. But they're
Okay.
working on the pumps right now, so.
Hot water return, what does that say? Gallons per minute. So 72 gallons a minute. The temperature's 121.4. The water flow going out is 104. So why is it flowing out faster than it's coming back in? Because they're working on the pumps?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of that would make that.
Those should
close
be
to the
even?
same. Yeah, close to the same, I would imagine. They're not too far.
Where is the fill station?
Back over there.
I don't know, did I miss it? Oh, right there? That's where it is? Oh, okay. So I'll shut it off right away.
What you have is you have 1 year of the water, the people come out here do testing for you
Right.
and make any kind of adjustments or whatever. I think they
So then we're gonna get a test kit eventually?
Yes, correct.
And chemicals.
Yeah, I think there's touchscreen. Yeah, the touchscreen in there.
So if you just touch this,
Oh, okay. All right, because I just saw a black door. That's all I was
right?
like.
Yeah.
That's what I,
I was in there the other day looking at it. I'm looking at it. It's a great feature. Fire out in there.
Yep.
It's a great feature. Okay, great. Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Like I said, I'll get the PK guy out here, the startup guy and everything, so he can walk you through
Okay.
everything you need to know on the boilers and everything like that. So
Just so we're on the same page now, BCI did all the controls that make things talk to each other. AGM is taking that information and being able to get it to you in a remote
So
situation.
two different companies.
So yeah, two different companies, two different things. They're tapping into their information and taking it somewhere for you to look at and be able to deal with.
Okay.
Ken is in charge of the whole thing.
He put the installation, he did all the installation.
So inside this panel is the same as the inside of that panel, just a little.
this is all your, this is all your controls actually. That panel reads this panel, basically, in layman's terms.
right. And then we'll have control drawings that basically show where all those wires are running to.
Okay. This is the control for.
Yep. So if you turn,
it down.
yeah, I mean, you could.
Right.
You have to shut it off?
Shut it off.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
And all your cabinet heaters actually too. No, cabinet heating and heaters are controlled through the computer, right?
No, the cabinet. Well, so all of these will, when it's below 55 degrees, and that's adjustable. The power will be enabled to like be able to use it. But over 55 degrees, all these will just be disabled. You won't like you turning that.
Well, it's 55 outside. You can do whatever you want. It's not going to kick on.
Yeah.
Under 55, they'll be. You can work.
In areas with egress where you don't want people catching on them, you have wall plates, and those are actual temperature sensors that are feeding back to TVs that supply this hallway.
So on the other side of that metal plate, or is it the metal plate itself is conducting there's a sensor on there, or
Yeah,
there's just a sensor behind the plate?
Yeah, there's a sensor actually wired to that plate. So the plate is part of the sensor. So these are the typical kind of classroom stat that give you a little bit of control over the individual space. Very just intuitive, up and down arrows. Just put your set point, and it'll tell you what it's set at.
What's it at right now, 71 in here?
Yeah, so the room in the is 71.6 in the room. Then you can also actually use the stat to determine what device is controlled, what backnet device. So if you press the diagonal 2 buttons together, that's your set point. And these two together, it should
Put it on a punch list.
maybe, yeah. Maybe it's only certain.
We will have a
Oh, there you
manual
go.
on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is device 223
Okay.
that serves this area.
And the only thing that happens, the air is still coming through.
Right.
And I saw the guys adjusting the air the other day. So what's the airflow? I mean, is that
So it's per
Whatever the engineer
individual
wants,
box.
actually.
Yeah. So that's all set.
That was
So
designed
there's-
by the engineer.
There's a heating airflow and a cooling airflow and a max and a min for both of those. So if it's very cold in here, you're going to get a maximum heating airflow.
so the airflow for the heating and the cooling is two different airflows? what you're saying?
It depends on the box, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all for
It
the
depends on
engineers.
this box or depends on,
The VAV and the
The
ceiling.
VAV.
VAV and the ceiling.
Yeah.
That's all
there's
pre-designed by.
dampers in there that controls the airflow also?
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not just a control on the pipes with heat going through?
No, it's controlling the box,
How many,
actually.
Controlling-
how many units per building?
I want to say on this, there are 68, I think, VAVs for this school.
Okay.
Somewhere in that general,
So in that ductwork, there is dampers that close and...
on the VAV.
Right, and there's
itself.
also a valve that
Yes,
will
there's a control valve,
close
correct.
the water off.
Correct,
Right.
correct.
Okay.
So it'll never be, the boxes will never be zero though. So that's why.
Never
like,
zero in the air.
Right, you'll always have airflow.
Yeah, so that'll prevent, that's the freeze protection.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Was there CO2 on these two, Dad's Killian?
I don't know. They look exactly the same. But
Okay.
it would show on the front end
Okay.
whether or not it has CO2. You won't be able to like look at what the CO2 is.
You can't look at the
snap.
CO2, you said that before, on any of these boxes. You can only tell that from the control
The front
that
end.
the other
Right.
guys got.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. These are enabled under 55 degrees, just like the unit heaters are.
So under
above,
55, they will not run. Or they will run.
Right. Above 55, this will just be blank and it'll be off.
There's no cooling coming out of it, right?
No, these
No.
are heating only.
Yeah, so these are
heating only.
just pulling air through the bottom, and it has a coil in there.
So that's, if you're on backside, there's a grate, is there?
It's just through the bottom. So right
Yeah,
here is
there's,
your
there's
return
nothing
air.
outside like the other schools.
No,
where you
no,
bring
no
in
outside
fresh
air through those or anything,
Right.
no.
This is just strictly
We had to freeze
heating.
up over there.
Yeah, this is standard return.
The fresh
supply,
air, the heat
actually.
and the fresh air is still coming from the ceiling. This
Right.
is just by the doors.
Correct, yeah.
Right, and that's what it's just to basically treat the coldest air.
Right by the
where it's
door,
at.
just like
Yeah.
in between
the
the
vestibule.
vestibules where you're
Yeah.
coming in and out.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
So, and you can change this. It's adjustable. I think these stats have like a deadband in it. So, if it's like 2 degrees below what you set it, I think
Okay.
it stops. Just because usually these areas have so much fluctuation with people opening doors and shutting. You don't want this.
And we can actually shut these things off too if we want.
Yeah,
Or shut
yeah.
them
You can
off.
just turn it off.
And there's the same limit that you were saying, it's like 75 to 71.
I think these because it's just controlled here is whatever this goes to. I think it's
Okay.
between like 65 and 80. Again, kind of just because some of these areas, you have high traffic, you might need it
Okay.
set higher.
So will all of these be, when you turn over to us as the owner, will all of these registers be set at the same temperature, same airflow, same fan speed?
We do that.
No, I'm saying when they turn it over to us for ownership, is everything uniform and you tell us all box registers or whatever they're called are at 75 at medium flow, and then we start adjusting?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, 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 they will.
The
Exit
room next
doors.
door does have the exit door, but they don't have that.
To the exterior?
Yeah. So nobody knows. Somebody needs to let me know so I can explain to the community why this room has a box
I'd
heater.
have to ask Doris and Baby.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Just want to know the answer, 'cause I'm the one who's got to explain it.